Back at it, back in it. Cody Hooper in the building for another episode of Read Between the Lines. Throw them up for me one time. UFC 323 and a big card at that to end out the year. The final card of the ESPN era. First of all, let me get your take before we dig into the card. Scale of 1 to 10, how many UFC pay-per-views have you bought over the last year, let's say?
Over the last year, zero, because I have a jailbroken Fire Stick. Over the past 5 years, I would say I've spent north of probably 3 grand on UFC cards. It's bad. It's
That's one of the most
bad.
beautiful things I've ever heard, that jailbroken Fire Stick. I went over to my buddy's house. He had the exact same thing. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm sure I could get this 15 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever you paid for that thing. I've been spending 79.99 for the last who knows how freaking long. God, am I excited for the Paramount era. Do you have Paramount Plus?
My parents have Paramount
That's
Plus,
what I'm
so
saying. Mom's
we're
got
in
Paramount
there.
Plus, which means I got Paramount Plus. It's
Like
one of the
just
most
two
beautiful things out
29 year
there.
olds still using our parents' streaming services. We're out here.
Yeah, what do we look like? That's called smart business. If they've got it, we've got it. That's saving money, that's being smart. But that's not what
Precisely.
we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about UFC 323, Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan, double title fight, Alexander Pantoja versus Josh Van. These are two longtime champions. I'm talking guys that are racking up win streaks. Some people even call them the GOATs. But that is up for debate. Merab Dvalishvili, go to the bantamweight division. You hold a Dominic Cruz, you hold a TJ Dillashaw, and Aljamain Sterling, or you sold on the go to Merab.
He needs a couple more. He needs. I think he needs. I think after this one, he will be. I'm not ready to talk about Pantoja in that category yet. There's a man. He's a strong rodent. He goes by the name of Mighty Mouse.
I think I've heard of him. You talking about
Mhm.
Demetrius Johnson?
Yeah, I am actually. How'd you know? That's crazy.
And that feels right. I would say Merab is up for debate. I feel like Pantoja is going to be in the shadow of Demetrius for a while. I think Demetrius had like 12 title defenses or something crazy like that. A different time, different era. I mean, first fight in the UFC was for a title fight. He literally introduced the flyweight division to the UFC. So take that for what it is. But Alexander Pantoja, undoubtedly a motherfucking problem. I mean, dudes ran through everybody in the division. And another one of those guys that's on this card is Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. I fucking love this fight. We'll get into that a little bit
Mhm.
later. We also have Henry Cejudo versus Payton Talbott. I thought that was a really interesting fight when it first got announced. I still feel that. I'm interested to hear what you say, knowing that Henry Cejudo's got that Olympic gold medal hanging around his freaking neck. Jan Blachowicz, Bogdan Guskov. This one kind of feels out of place on this card, to be honest with you. I feel about
Yeah.
zero excitement for that, but it is what it is. We'll give a small chit chat on that. But the card itself is actually, even past that, it's a pretty solid card all the way down. Grant Dawson, um, little known guy, but lightweight. He's top 13 in the lightweight division. Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan. I was cashing in Chris Duncan unders for a hot minute, and then the GOAT of female MMA. Some people call her the baddest chick on planet Earth. Some people call her the female Justin Gaethje. I like to call her Macy Barber's fighting Karina Silva later down.
Hey, we'll see if she is fighting or not. We'll see. I mean,
Wow. Come
she
on.
hasn't gotten into the octagon yet. We will see if
Come
she's
on. Go
fighting.
put that on her. If she does fall out of this fight again, that would be a problem. That's cut time.
I
Marvin
couldn't agree more.
Vittori, also on the early prelims. I thought that was kind of odd.
That is kind of odd. Jalen Turner also on the early
The
prelims.
return, the return of Jalen Turner. That's how good this card is. Marvin Vittori, Jalen Turner on the early prelims. I also love me some Marion Santos. I don't know. Did you watch The Ultimate Fighter? Are you an Ultimate Fighter guy?
I tell you what, the Ultimate Fight, I didn't. I want to be an Ultimate Fighter guy, but I don't like the team build up bullshit that they do. This isn't football.
I
Like,
get
we're
locked in
not
on that.
here. Oh, do you? I can't deal with it, man. I watch the UFC to watch people fight each other. I don't give a fuck about this make-believe team bullshit. It's just not for me.
He was on a couple years ago. He won the Ultimate Fighter, and he's I think 3-0 in the UFC since. So exciting prospect. But let's start at the top. Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. This is a rematch. And the first one was not pretty if you're Petr Yan. Dude got taken down, attempted to take down 49 times. The
It's a
full
lot.
machine experience on one Petr Yan. How do you see this one playing out? Is it another easy rack up for Merab Dvalishvili, or is Petr Yan going to offer him something different this time that might actually make a difference?
I don't know what Petr Yan could possibly offer Merab. I mean, their strengths are the same, and Merab is just infinitely better at the strength they both share. I'll give you Petr Yan's a little bit better on the feet, this, that, what have you. Um, I think the only way that this fight is even in jeopardy is Merab just is showboating too much, thinking he's stacking up these rounds that he might not be stacking up, or maybe he slips up and gets caught. I mean, I this this is kind of hard to make money on, but I have Merab by decision minus 225. A lot of people have been saying Petr Yan's deserved this title fight for a long time. There's people out there that think Petr Yan hasn't lost a fight besides the one he fought to Merab or the one he dropped to Merab.
Yeah, he was in the midst of a three-fight skid by the time Merab got a hold of him. One
Hmm.
Sean O'Malley and actually four-fight skid. Aljamain twice, Sean O'Malley, then Merab Dvalishvili. Has put three together since. The likes of Davison Figueiredo, Song Yadong, and his last one out against no, Davison Figueiredo. Who am I missing in that? Do you know?
Uh,
Figueiredo, Song Yadong, and there's one more.
Let me see.
Blanking hard. That's on me.
McGahee.
Yeah, Marcus McGee was his last one out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McGee. Uh,
Great pull. And he's looked good. He hasn't looked bad, but he hasn't exactly looked special either. It's not like Marks McGee, I think, was ranked like maybe 11 or 12, maybe 13 when he fought Petr Yan. Took him to a decision. Song Yadong, same thing. Good fight. Really fun fight. Davison Figueiredo, same thing. Really fun fight. Merab Dvalishvili just feels like he's on another fucking level. And it's we've seen this before. I just don't know if you're Petr Yan. And it feels like, I mean, you kind of said it. If Merab slips up, slips on a banana peel, gets a little too cocky, there's always a chance you get knocked out. But this feels like the conversation we have, not just for Petr Yan, but for everybody that fights Merab. It's like you gotta land something crazy or you're fucked.
yeah,
He's just that guy.
he's a boa constrictor, man. I mean, dude, and everything he does goes viral too. Like, there's the video of him smelling pizza, eating fucking
Oh, that
cucumbers
was
or whatever the
good.
fuck it is. I was like, everything this guy does turns into gold. He's switching me up a little bit. I used to be a Merab hater, and now I'm kind of on the Merab train.
I'm with you. I'm with you. He really, and I think you get to a level of dominance in the UFC where it's almost just undeniable. You have to just hop on
Hmm.
because it's too hard to hate anymore. I felt that with Kamaru Usman to a certain extent when he was on his title run. Um, and Merab Dvalishvili is kind of that same way where you're just like, you see the fighting style and you go, okay, he's just going to take it down. He doesn't get a lot of finishes, blah, blah, blah. But he has been putting on shows as of late. Like, I mean, like you said, Showboat, he almost knocked out Corey Sandhagen, which
Yeah.
is one of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen. And you know me, I'm a freaking Corey Sandhagen stan. I believe, yeah, I don't believe I did pick him for that fight, wearing the t-shirt, the whole fucking nine. But I don't know if I ever actually believed that he was going to win. It was more wishful thinking. That's just the level that Merab fights at. And he's on his fourth title fight of the year. Umar Nurmagomedov to start it off back in January, then Sean O'Malley, then Corey Sandhagen, and now he's fighting Petr Yan. Do you see the activity being a problem at all, or is this just the machine doing machine things?
For the activity to be an issue, you have to take damage. And the only real damage I can even remember Merab taking that was notable was in the round five against his like in his first fight against Shug, where he was definitely hurt to the body.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing like jumps out at me like, oh, Merab was hurt, rah, 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 this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
He pretty much just takes people down and fucking suffocates them and makes them want to call their mom and apologize for being mean to him, being mean to her when he was a kid. Like, it's basically like that's how it has to feel. You're just like, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Did you say Merab by decision?
Yeah, Merab by decision minus 225.
I took the exact same thing. Part of me, just for money purposes, wanted to take him by submission. I could halfway see that, but Petr Yan's pretty fucking skilled. I mean, obviously you think it goes to the bell. If you did see a route earlier, do you think it's Petr Yan or do you think Merab can get a finish here?
I mean, Petr Yan would have to fully break in my mind. I mean, Merab's jiu-jitsu just isn't world renowned. I'm not going to sit here and say he's bad at jiu-jitsu. It's just he's not a heavy jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
If I were to pick this fight to not go the distance, it would be Petr Yan by KO TKO.
Damn, boy. Just one of those fights. Merab Dvalishvili back at it, freaking back in it. Say he gets over Petr Yan. Do you see like who gives him a problem? Is there anybody in the division right now that you're like, well, this guy's coming up. He's going to be an issue? Is it
No.
Umar Nurmagomedov again? Do you think he can right the wrong?
No, I think, I mean, so obviously he just keeps stacking up these easy wins and these checks, and you get to be the undisputed champion to go to bantamweight. I think the only fun is if he goes up to 145. There's some fucking psycho axe murderers at 145, but I think it would be fun for him to fight. I don't think Pantoja going up to 135 makes any sense because Merab's a fucking beefcake. He cuts a
Oh,
ton of weight. I don't think that fight would be fun at all.
I think
Uh,
Merab's head weighs more than Pantoja's body.
Pantoja, not a big guy,
No,
not
he's
very
not a
big.
huge guy.
No. So I think the only fun to be had would be at 145, and I'm not even sure that Volk fight would be that fun. I think maybe like a Diego Lopez, somebody who's
Yeah,
like a fucking psychopath. Like there's something clinically wrong with him, and I'm absolutely all in on it. I think it would have to be something like that.
Sean Silva.
No, like that's
He's
not
just
fun.
clinically insane. Just the
He
most
is just
insane
he
person I
is
ever thought
clinically insane. I mean, they would make out for 2 rounds for sure if it's up to John Silva. I mean, you got to get your tongue lashings in if you're John Silva, but no, I mean, I think
of.
yeah, I don't know. I don't see any challenges upcoming for Merab Dvalishvili, which is a little bit sad because bantamweight was one of the more fun weights, and not in the not championship can like not champ contenders. It still is a really, really fun weight, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's not that. Maybe he can challenge for the belt because nobody in the fucking world can make 135 pounds and challenge for the
And
belt.
he's already beat most of the guys that you thought had a chance. He beat Umar, he beat Sean twice. He's headed into another Petr Yan fight. So, like he's lapping the division currently. Over under 7.5 takedowns is what the line is set at for the Petr Yan fight. He landed 11 in the first. What are you feeling on that? You think over or under on that?
Put my mortgage that I don't have on the over. Put
So you're
my
taking
make
the
believe
over. Over.
mortgage. Yep.
Over
Put
seven
my
and a half.
over 7.5. If I had
Your
hundreds of thousands
make-believe
of dollars,
mortgage.
yeah, my make believe mortgage, I pay rent. But
Got it.
yeah,
I
what do you what do you have? What do you have? Under or over?
same a part of me wants to take the under just because I feel like, and this is me being an optimistic, I want Petr Yan to do better.
Yeah.
I want to see a competitive fight from Rob Dvalishvili. I'd love to see him hurt. That would be, I mean, what a show that would be. Imagine at any moment in the last freaking 5 fights, Sean O'Malley did it with 30 seconds left in the fifth round. We have not seen Merab Dvalishvili even in danger in feels like forever. Henry Cejudo, which we'll talk about later, did give him a pretty good pop in the first round in their fight, but the
Many
dude's
moons
unstoppable.
ago.
The dude's unstoppable. Next fight up, Alexander Pantoja versus Joshua Van. I know you are a Josh Van stan, but he's got a man in front of him that is a certified issue for everybody in the flyweight division. A lot of the same things that we just said about Merab Dvalishvili can be applied to Alexander Pantoja, but you got a kid in Josh Van, 24 years old, coming up, whose hands are fucking disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a twinkle in my eye when I talk about Josh Van. I mean, if people wanted to go way back many moons ago, and I'm like, I fucking love this kid. I do. I absolutely love Josh Van. It's a little bit weird for me being almost 30 to be like, this 24-year-old kid, I love him. Like, it's
No, there's
awesome.
nothing weird about that. I
I mean,
say that every day.
I love Josh Van. I think he's awesome. I think he's incredibly competitive. And every other fight. And there's a world where here's the thing is Alexander Pantoja, when he fights, wants to get to one position, and that is on your back with the figure four locked up, and you're just fighting hands for an eternity.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something in there that, you're training to not let somebody get to one position. And maybe there's something there. I don't see it. I love Josh Van probably more than anybody. I'm a Josh Van stan, like you said. I have Pantoja by submission plus 150. I think he takes the kid down and wears him down, just like he does to literally everyone. Two of the most dominant champions in the entire UFC here. Besides Bullet, that fight was fucking insane. I mean, just
Oh
shocked
my
everyone.
God.
Um, Here, but I mean, these two people, I mean, they're near the top, or they should be near the top of the pound for pound list for a reason here. I know Merab is close to the top. I know Pantoja's been
I
getting
think they're like
disrespected.
3, 4. They're both top five.
Right. Um, I just don't see it for the kid, and it breaks my heart because I want nothing more to Josh Van to just get stand up, and he's got beautiful hands, and his head movement's incredible, and he can defend some takedowns, and you just see this kid who could be fucking awesome, and he is fucking awesome. He's the number one ranked contender. It's just, dude, Pantoja is a fucking boa constrictor.
Yeah. Takedown defense for Josh Van, 81%. I was pretty surprised to see that. Obviously, the level of competition is not Alexander Pantoja, but again, you just want to see something competitive
You
here.
do.
It's just one of those fights, and we saw it kind of with Kai Asakura. We saw it with Kai Kara France. The guys that have, are mostly known for the hands. They don't really do anything else. Like guys like Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, they're very well rounded. Even Steve Ursay to a certain extent, they're very well rounded. They're not uncomfortable on the ground. We don't really know what Josh Van has on the ground because he never goes there. He doesn't force any sort of takedowns. He loves working those hands, and his hands are fucking disgusting. The difference between Alexander Pantoja and Merab Dvalishvili, though, is we've seen Alexander Pantoja in bad positions, hurt. There's times in the fight where he looks like he's out of gas, just marching forward, walking at you. Steve Ursay had a ton of success. Moreno had the same thing, but he's a dog. Like, dude is a dog. He just
Fucking
keeps
dog.
going. He just keeps freaking going. I would love to say that I'm picking Josh Van here by something spectacular, but I got the same pick as you, Alexander Pantoja by submission. It just feels like the obvious choice. That being said, fight starts, bell clicks. I'm going to be right in Josh Van hard.
Oh,
I'm going to
100%.
be right
Also,
every
hey,
punch.
yo, clip it and ship it.
I said some dumb shit earlier. I was filming some other videos and I was like, something for Tatsuro Taira. I was like, I pegged Tatsuro Taira for, I was like, fuck. Somebody's going to definitely comment on that, but
Clip it
yeah, it
and ship it.
happens.
Hey, that happens when you're in the business. No, I mean, but you said it incredibly well. Josh Van's hands, incredible. His head movement is maybe the best I've seen in a very long time. The
And
way he
his
just like,
counter punching, so
yeah,
gross.
he just like slips punches and then he's like, Gah! And it's like, oh fuck, dude, that punch would literally kill me. It's insane.
That's where I do see the advantage, though. Like, if there was one to take against Alexander Pantoja, is the fact that he does march forward. He's going to walk at you. Of course, he's going to try to take you down. But if he's staying on the feet and walking right at Josh Van, the way he slips and counter punches could be dangerous. No, he's not known for like super like one punch KO power. He's in the flyweight division. Not very many of them are known for that. But and Alexander Pantoja fucking noggin of steel. Dude's, I don't know if he's ever been knocked out. If he has, hasn't been recent. Uh, but that's where I do see the advantage for Josh Van. If he was to win this fight, it's stuff in the takedowns. Obviously, you can't spend too much time on the ground with Pantoja or you're going to get subbed and just working those counters as he's walking at you. It's also his first 5 round fight. Interested to see how that plays out. His level of output's fucking insane, so I can't imagine that he's not in good enough shape to run five. He has the most strikes per minute of any fighter in the UFC at
Ooh.
8.86 strikes per minute. Not just the flyweight division of anybody in the UFC. The kid is cold. But this will be his first 5 round test and against a dude that the likes of Brandon Moreno, Steve Urseg, Brandon Royval, Kai Asakura, Kai Kara France, all fell too.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I wish the best for the kid. I would love to see an awesome fight here, and I think if he does win, it makes the division more exciting. Obviously, you give Pantoja the immediate run back, but
Yeah.
it does make the division more exciting if an absolutely incredibly dominant champion is not running the division. As fucked up as it is to say, that's just the truth.
Yeah. And you almost have to root for that at a certain point because you're just like, what else do you do? There's like Merab Dvalishvili, he's lapped a lot of these guys, like especially in the flyweight division, which we've seen champions in general, Davis and Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno for like four times. You see a lot of overlap in this flyweight division. It feels like we are starting to get a little bit of new life at the top with Josh Van and in our next fight, Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira, another 25-year-old that's sitting at the top of the division right now. Um, The champ's too goddamn good. The champ is too goddamn good.
Yeah. I mean, stop being so fucking good. How dare you be the best fighter at 125 in the world? Quit doing that shit.
The second best fighter in the world at 125 pounds for a long time has been Brandon Moreno. He's got a tough test against Tatsuro Taira. As big of a stand as you are with Josh Van, I am with Tatsuro Taira. I fucking love this kid. I love this kid. I pegged him. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to do it twice. I don't want to do it twice. But I have said before, Tatsuro Taira, to me, of guys that we haven't already seen Pantoja face, offers the toughest challenge for Alexander Pantoja because he is a submission specialist. He is a monster on the ground. He is the king of getting to your back, slides around super freaking easy. And we've got a test here against Brandon Moreno that we're going to get a lot of those answers to. Is he ready for the big show? Is he ready for the high life for a guy like Alexander Pantoja? Because Brandon Moreno, if Alexander Pantoja wasn't sitting atop this division, it would probably be this guy in Brandon Moreno, a longtime staple, a former champ, a guy that took out Davis and Figueiredo, who's having a lot of success at 135 right now. A fucking savage. How do you see this one playing out? Odds here, minus 102, minus 118. It's got him as a pick 'em on the UFC site. I thought Brandon Moreno was an underdog on DraftKings. I believe
Brandon
he's
Moreno is
plus,
plus 105 on DraftKings.
yeah. Were you surprised? First of all, were you surprised to see that? Second of all, how do you see this one playing out?
I was surprised to see that. I think you broke it down really well in the way that, I'm just gonna call him TT so I don't butcher his name a million times in a row. And the way that he could win this fight. And another thing to note that like if you let Brandon get going and making that like making his face and like
Yeah.
fucking dancing and shit, you're absolutely fucking chalked. So I mean, if you let Brandon start doing his shit, like you lost the fight already. So keeping him guessing and keeping him on the back foot and not letting him get in his fucking groove, not letting him start feeling it is the way to win that fight. That being said, I don't think this fight's all that close. I think Brandon Moreno absolutely shit stomps the boy out here. I think Brandon Moreno is by a landslide the second best fighter in this division, and I think he's the only one who actually stands a chance of beating Alexander Pantoja. I'm a huge Brandon Moreno stan. I always have been. I root for the kid. How can you not? I mean, his story's
How can you not? I
incredible.
agree.
Tijuana! Like, shit gets me every single fucking time. I love Brandon Moreno. I don't see this fight potentially even going the distance.
Damn.
But my pick is Brandon Moreno plus 105. I thought about taking plus 900 KO TKO. I thought about it.
And you've seen Tatsuro Taira, Brandon Royval, a great example. Tats struggled on the feet.
Hmm.
That was where Brandon Royval had the most success. Very close fight, back and forth. I think 2 rounds to Tatsuro Taira, 3 rounds to Brandon Royval. A great fucking fight. But Tatsuro Taira on the feet and Brandon Royval's, both these guys have exceptional boxing. Brandon Royval's a little bit longer, but Moreno's hands are as gross as they come, and Brandon Royval did have a ton of success against Tatsuro Taira, just straight boxing. You think that just the youth of him, he's still learning in that sense. His last time out, he did freaking sleep a dude. I can't remember his name right now, but it was supposed to be Amir Albazi. Ended up being Hyung Sung Park, maybe. That's not it.
Nope, I think you crushed it.
Hyung
Let
Sung
me.
Park.
Last name is Park. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. You smashed that. You hit that
Did
out.
I?
You hit that out of the park, my guy.
Damn, boy, come on. That's a big dub for me
On
because I
one.
was definitely
On
pulling
one.
that out of I was I was thinking, okay, Chinese name, here we go. Chung Sung Park. Just
You're
happened
like
to nail that one. Good
Chinese,
freaking
not Zhang
stuff.
Weili. Hmm.
Good freaking stuff. Yeah, slept him.
Yeah.
Nasty little overhand that put him to sleep. And then obviously, I at the time, dude was unranked. He's not nearly at the level of Brandon Moreno or Brandon Royval that he fought previously. But I still root for the boy. I still ride for the boy, and I think this is going to be his stamp to the title right here. I'm taking him straight up, just money line at -125. I like that. I do love Brandon Moreno though. It just feels like this card especially we're old school versus new school. You got a 24-year-old in Josh Van, you got a 25-year-old in Tatsuro Taira versus Brandon Moreno. Speaking of this, how old do you think Brandon Moreno is?
34.
31.
Oh, okay.
Dude's still a young buck.
He is. He is. Something we didn't touch on is Brandon Moreno does have dynamite in his hands. Not very many people put Kai Kara France out, let alone with the body shot.
Mm.
That dude can absolutely hit. And dude, I just think we're just gonna hear Tijuana at the end, and I already have goosebumps.
I'm hoping for Japan.
Go with it.
I
Go
am
with
happy,
it.
thank you. That's the Tatsuro special right there.
We're canceled. We've already been
No,
canceled.
that's
It's
what he
fine.
says. I didn't make that up.
Oh, I know, but the squint in the
No,
eye.
that was just excitement. That was squinting out of
Oh,
excitement.
oh, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm
If
not
I went
doubting you.
hands up, if I went hands to the eye, that would be a problem. I would probably cut that section of the podcast, but I didn't, dog. I didn't, and I'm not going to because that's wrong and that's inappropriate. You know what's not inappropriate though? The next fight, Henry Cejudo versus Payton freaking Talbott. When this got announced, what was your first thought?
Why do they keep fucking feeding Peyton Talbott, the best wrestlers in the division?
Yeah, I felt the exact same way. It feels like a weird matchup for a guy that seemingly the UFC is trying to get behind, but it's also a self-proclaimed retirement fight by Henry Cejudo. So it's like you kind of got to cash in now. I mean, you could feed him to who else gives a shit. Peyton Talbot is a name that you're trying to get behind. It feels like if you want to give him a launching pad, you do give him a name like Henry Cejudo, a name like Henry Cejudo. Maybe not the wrestling prowess, the accolades of Henry Cejudo, but a weird fight. Plus 210. Henry Cejudo's the underdog. Plus 210, -258. A pretty wide line for somebody who we saw just 2 fights ago really struggle with the wrestling of Jaime Barcelos.
Peyton Talbot, one of the only fighters in the UFC who has a loss that aged as well. Barcelos has been on a tear, or at least
I
was
think
on a
he's on a
tear.
four. I think he's won 3 or 4 straight since that fight.
Yeah, that loss aged incredibly well. Usually when you lose to an old fuck who can only wrestle,
He
that
loses the next one out, and you're like, oh,
and you're like, oh fuck. But like I said, I wish, and I completely agree with everything you just said. It seems like the UFC is trying to pump this guy up. I mean, a number 10 against an unranked guy is, that's doesn't usually happen that often. You usually give him about 14 or a 15 or something like that. It does kind of feel like this is a little bit of a cash grab by the UFC. Which I'm not crazy about. I don't always agree with everything Hunter does, but this is a weird fight to make for Cejudo's retirement fight. You touched on the gap, plus two. I don't have, or Cejudo by decision is plus 350. Like, and Cejudo is not knocking anybody out anymore. He's fucking, what is he, 42? I
I think
don't
he's
know. He's
38.
sure. Sounds good. He's old as fuck. Um, this is a does Henry Cejudo still have anything left in the gas or left in the gas tank? Because in all likelihood, if Henry Cejudo still is a shadow of himself, he should win this fight handily by decision. Just take Peyton Talbot down and not let him up.
Yeah, the only thing is like the size difference is pretty freaking massive. I mean, Henry Cejudo 5'5", Peyton Talbot 5'10", doesn't sound crazy, but 5 inches, I'll tell you, it's a lot. And
It is a lot.
ask any one of the girls I've ever slept with, they'll tell you too. It is a lot. At least at least they tell me that. Uh, but there is a massive size discrepancy as well. So it feels like if Peyton Talbot can keep Henry Cejudo on the back foot on the end of his punches, dude's got crazy knockout power, and I'm happy to take Peyton Talbot here. I got him by decision plus 100. I think Henry Cejudo's still a formidable force. He had a great fight with Song Yadong last time out, but I'm gonna place my money on the guy that's 9 years younger and 5 inches taller and just kind of almost and again maybe wishful thinking here, but like there's no if this is a retirement fight, there's nothing that Henry Cejudo gains from winning this fight other than yeah, it's a good name to end on. Like Peyton Talbot, this would launch him into the top end of this division, which I'm happy with. You still got guys like Vinicius Oliveira and Ahmad Zahabi, like a ton of fights in there that I think could be really interesting for Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I am uncomfortable because we have too many of the same picks. My pick is Peyton Talbot by decision plus 100. This is scary. This doesn't happen very often.
Is it a bad thing, or am I just getting better?
I think you're definitely getting better, but either we're gonna have all these fights right or we're gonna have none of them right, which is scary, scary, scary stuff. I do want to touch on Peyton Talbot's rapid wrestling improvement. He looked like he'd never wrestled before, and I was bitching to you about it, just texting you, being like, nothing pisses me off more than when people are professional fighters and they can't do the absolute basics of
Yeah.
wrestling, like getting hand control or pummeling in or pummeling out or sprawling. You know, things that you learn day one, first ever wrestling practice, things like
Yeah.
that. He wasn't doing correctly, and he's gotten a tremendous amount better. We'll see. This is a huge wrestling step up. And
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo, one of the best American wrestlers to ever do it. So we'll see. But my pick is Peyton Talbot by decision.
That being said, do you know how old Peyton Talbot was when Henry Cejudo won his gold medal?
So Henry Cejudo
It
was
was in 2008.
19. 9?
Peyton Talbot was 9 years old.
Oh, let's go. Let's
What
go.
a freaking guess there, brother. Peyton Talbot was 9 years old. Henry Cejudo was wrapping a gold medal around his freaking neck. Uh, Kind of speaks to the age difference there. It's like there is a
Huge.
big age gap, and there's a reason Henry Cejudo is retiring here, but he did look good against Song Yadong. There was moments in that fight, kind of felt like the fight was shifting before he got eye poked and it ended. I still feel like there's a little bit of tread on the tires. I think this is going to be a competitive fight, but I just like I like Peyton Talbot, and I think the size difference is going to be the real decider here.
Yeah. Henry Cejudo was in a weird spot, a little bit too big for 125 to make it as often as he wanted to, a
Yeah,
little bit too small for 135. So yeah, I mean it's huge. I mean he's wrestling or he's fighting somebody who's 5 inches taller, which is huge. Huge reach
huge.
advantage, all this different kind of stuff. Peyton Talbot by decision honestly feels like a lock.
We got 6 minutes and 22 seconds left, so I'm just going to take a pick from you on this Jan Blachowicz fight because I want to talk to you about UFC 2324, the new Paramount card. You know we got to dig down Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. I've got Jan Blachowicz minus 125.
I
What's
have
your
Jan
take on this?
Blachowicz by decision plus 240.
Don't hate that at all. Don't hate that. Is there any quick hits you want to hit on this thing? I like
Uh, Go
Nazim
ahead.
Sadikov plus 114. He's fighting for Asiam. I think that one doesn't go the distance. The Black Wolf Nazim Sadikov is also a certified fucking savage. Surprised to see he was the underdog. And give me fucking Macy Barber minus 198.
I have Manuel Torres and I have Kareem Silva.
Okay. Okay.
Go to the next card. Go to the next card.
For real, dog, you did that on purpose.
I
You
know.
pulled that one on purpose. That is fucked up. That one is fucked up. I can't believe we got to talk about UFC 324 after you're talking this dumb shit.
I just choked on a laugh.
All right, UFC 324, the Paramount
Absolute
era.
banger.
Yeah, absolute fucking banger. Um, I've Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett for an interim belt. I know we were on the opposite sides of who should get this belt. You were hard riding Justin Gaethje. I was hard riding Paddy Pimblett because we just assumed. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I got to start watching my words because everything I'm doing is sounding real
It's
freaking gay.
going on TikTok.
Hard riding, son of a bitch. Um, but this feels like the fight that was needed to happen. Like this is the real number one contender fight. I know people have been upset about like, Armin deserves a shot. I think that's a little bit of recency bias just because he did just get that win over Dan Hooker. Uh, but like we needed this fight. We needed this fight because there was two guys that were kind of jockeying for position for a belt right there against Ilia Topuria. And I fucking love it. The real question is, how much does Justin Gaethje still have in the tank? Can he still slap up Paddy Pimblett? You feel like that chin is able to be hit, or is the young Don going to take over right here?
I'm gonna save my pick on that fight for the next read between the lines.
That's smart.
Um,
That's called
that's how you
freaking.
sell the next show. I am incredibly excited for this fight, and I don't think Arman Sarukian deserves an immediate title shot. In Dan Hooker's own words, he's not very fucking good anymore.
Armin's. Oh, Dan Hooker. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, he proposed a two bad fighters fight, him and Hanato Moicano, which I'm sure you'll agree with.
Yeah, they're both fucking ass. They
You
both
freaking ripped
suck.
me up on Hanato Moicano last time.
Hanatsu Moicano's fucking ass cheeks, bro. He's not been good. He may have never been good.
We're also getting Kayla Harris and Amanda Nunes a goat versus goat fight. Uh, Kayla Harrison, I just, first of all, I love this fight. I kind of expected it to be on the White House card, but I'm glad that it's here. Uh, I don't, it's always weird when a fighter retires. Amanda Nunes has been out for like 2 years. Now she's coming back. Part of me, I don't know.
I
I
have
love
no
this
idea.
fight and I hate this fight because I don't know.
I
But
don't
it's
I
the
don't have a
fight
pick.
that we've always wanted for Kayla Harrison since she entered the division.
We've been begging for this fight for what feels like eons, what feels like many, many years. We've just been like, I can't wait for this fight to happen, and it's actually fucking happening. I couldn't be more excited.
And the return of the Sugar Show versus Song Yadong. I actually really fucking love that fight.
Oh,
Uh,
that fight's gonna be a banger.
I wanted that fight. I know a lot of people were hard riding. Son of a bitch. A lot of people were hyping up. A lot of people, you sent me a text before this show where you called me gay. I think I might be gay. I don't know what fucking happened. Out of nowhere, out of the blue, I get a text from you. We're just like, hey, what time should we do the show? We get the time down, 7 o'clock, and then here you come. What did you say to me? Out of nowhere, heard you were gay. The person I heard it from was me. It's starting to seem like that rumor may be true.
I'm so
Oh my God.
I love that fight. I do have Suge in that fight. I think he's gonna find the better angles. You can't walk a Suge like a zombie. He'll put your fucking lights out. You just can't do that. So Song Yilong's gonna have to heavily utilize his wrestling if he wants to take out Sugar Sean O'Malley.
The worst thing about me saying all this gay stuff is I know I'm gonna clip it all together and fucking release it as I'm gonna do it to myself
Yeah.
because it's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be a solid clip. And the only problem is it's gonna be long. There's probably 7 or 8 instances in here. It might be 45,
It sounds
50. It
like
might
that'd
be,
be something you would like.
oh my God. Uh, this hasn't been updated. Alexa Grasso fell out. Natalia Silva's taking on Rose Namajunas. We also have Umar Nurmagomedov, Davison Figueiredo on this card. Atiba Gutierrez, Arnold Aller, John Silva, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Like a way to start off the Paramount era. I'm pretty fucking jacked up about this.
I could not be more excited about this shit. Could not be more excited to not have to watch it on my jailbroken Fire Stick where it buffers all the fucking time. I'm hype about that. Shout out mom and dad for paying for Paramount Plus.
We're freaking back, baby. We got less than a minute, so I'm gonna give you the freaking peace signs, but always a goddamn pleasure.
Always.
Uh, I'll see you in the new year, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to break down that card. It's always a pleasure as well. I appreciate you having me on the show. Read between them.